So I'll tell you what my experiences have been. Yours may be similar, they may be totally different. So it's just a matter of finding out for yourself, because your experience will be your best teacher in this case. So, what I found is when I follow my intuition, it's like 100% of the time, 100% of the time, it leads me to well-being and joy and happiness and amazing experiences and wonderful people and circumstances that are nothing short of miraculous. Like, beyond even what my concept of what miracles are possible of creating, like, it's beyond miraculous. It's just incredible, the things that happen when I follow my intuition. And so the spectrum of experiences will generally range anywhere from just okay, calm, nothing special, to just incredible, amazing, fantastic. And that's what I get when I follow my intuition. Even if following my intuition at first doesn't seem like a good idea to the mind. When I follow the mind, what I found is about 90% of the time, I wind up getting hurt, I wind up meeting somebody I don't want to be around, I wind up eating a food that turns out not to be all that delicious in the first place, I wind up going somewhere that's not all that fun. It's just, it looked like a good idea at the time, but when I get there, it's really not. 90% of the time, it's kind of bleh thing. Whereas the other 10% of the time, it's just okay. And so, it kind of feels like a win for the mind, like, yeah, look at this, I'm doing alright, following my mind works. So what I'm finding is, it's kind of like the intuition generally wins over the mind. If I were to follow my intuition, it's going to lead me to maybe somewhere amazing, to where if I followed my mind, it would lead me somewhere not so good or just okay. And now the interesting thing is when I follow my intuition, just because I don't get the miraculous, oh my gosh type experiences, if it's just okay, sometimes that is a huge blessing. I'll give you a couple examples. I'm really into hiking. And this summer, I've been hiking 2 to 3 times a week. Just all types of hiking experiences I could think of. And what I found is I really love water hikes. Just through trial and error, I found I love, crossing through rivers, hiking next to rivers, swimming in the water, being, going behind waterfalls, climbing up waterfalls, jumping off cliffs into the water, kayaking, canoeing, just, I've discovered I love water. And so, I'm a part of a couple different hiking groups here in the Atlanta area. And there's just been so many opportunities for hiking trips. Every weekend there's a couple different trips to go on. And so, whenever I decide which one do I want to go on, I ask myself, okay, which one is the most exciting? Which one do I feel light about? This kind of, this sense of lightness and ease and joy. And I go with that one. And it's led me to some incredible people, wonderful experiences, and just amazing times. It's been a fantastic summer. And sometimes what I found is I go on a hike that is not necessarily the water hike, it's not necessarily with my friends, but for some reason it just feels like the right choice. And so I take that hike. And I have a good time, nothing special. Maybe it was a great hike, maybe it was okay, but it was nothing bad that happened that really stood out. A little while later I wind up, just talking to my friends about experiences this past summer, and they wind up sharing with me experiences of these waterfall hikes that, I would have been there, but plans came up, or I had another hike, or for some reason, right, I didn't go on that hike. So I found out one example, they go onto the hike, and by the time they're ready to leave, one of the guys who's driving, his, the power steering cable got ripped off from underneath his truck, and he couldn't drive his truck anymore. And so they all had to wind up cramming into another one of the cars and carpooling back that way. And it wasn't a pleasant experience, as you may imagine. So there was that one. There was another one where they came back from a hike, and they it was just a narrow dirt road, and there was a parking area there. And so of course they parked in the parking area. For whatever reason, there was this car which had parked right in the middle of the road. It didn't park in the parking area, it parked in the road, and the people who were hiking, they were up the mountain, wherever they were. And so they couldn't get around, they couldn't leave. And they had to sit there for 5 hours, waiting for the other guys to come back off the mountain and leave, so that they could go. And again, that was a hike that I didn't go on. And I didn't even know about this until, months later, I talked to them and I was like, really? The hikes that I didn't go on, like, that's what happened? And so I don't even find out till afterwards that sometimes if I do something and it just winds up okay, it winds up nothing special, sometimes the okayness is good, right? The fact that it's not bad, that nothing goes wrong, is actually a tremendous blessing. And so when we follow our intuition, don't assume that the miracles are going to happen, because the miracle, quote unquote, the good thing, may just be that nothing bad happens. And so, as I found in my own experience, following my intuition, it leads me anywhere from just okayness to awesome stuff. But it really becomes a game that we have to play ourselves and find out, just through trial and error, is this really, really a valid tool? Am I making it up? Is there really some sort of guidance here? Is there something more happening here? Whether we want to call it a higher self, or spirit guide, or God, or just a knowingness, whatever you want to call it, it's like there's really something here that's helping guide us from within. It's gut feeling. So this is a game I'd suggest you play. Just try it consciously. Say, okay, I'm going to follow my mind, or I'm going to follow my intuition. And just see what happens. Just see what happens. Make it kind of like a game. You just play. Just an innocent game. I'm going to go this way, or I'm going to go that way. And see what happens. Have fun.